Welcome into Rasslin, BarstoolSports.com's weekly wrestling podcast. Professional wrestling by a fan for fans. I don't wrestle. Well, you know what? Soon I might. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But this is the show that was born out of my passion for wrestling. I just want to talk about it. And you might know this if you're a longtime listener, which we've been doing this since December. So many of you aren't long time because it hasn't been a long time. Anyway, relax out there. I have multiple times had co-pilots, co-host for the length of an episode. We had Dan Vollmeyer a couple of weeks ago. We had a couple of other people that have gone and recorded an entire show with us. But this is the first time. I'm very, very excited. We have a co-host who, as of, she most recently worked for WWE, but she, in the last couple of weeks, is striking out on her own and doing her own podcast and doing stuff out there in the world of media that looks very, very exciting. I am talking, of course, about Chelsea Green, who is just co-hosting the show with me today. Hello, Chelsea.
Hello. Thanks for having me. I mean, peer pressure, right?
Peer pressure. Yeah, no. So the second it came down and you were in the wave of releases a couple of weeks ago from WWE, I started getting messages or DMs like, hey, Chelsea Green. And then, of course, you just went on Twitter and just went out and said, hey, Dave Portnoy, how about me? Something like that, right? And
no,
I was
exactly it.
And once you did that, it was like, get her on wrestling. So I didn't want to bring you on just as an interview. I wanted to bring you on and let's just host this thing together and see where it goes, man.
I love this. And I love that you were so open to that because I feel like a lot of guys probably don't want me to talk about wrestling with them. But like, this is what I love. I love talking. So I'm so glad I'm here.
I got to be honest with you, Chelsea. This is so a couple of months ago, I have a 12-year-old daughter, and she is getting into wrestling. I have 4 kids, and my 12-year-old daughter is more into wrestling than any boy I got. The other 3 are boys, and she loves it. And so I'm able to watch it with her and see it from her perspective and be like, wow, this is so I'm a little bit different than a lot of fans, and that I don't lean towards the women's. I don't lean towards the men's. It's just all 50-50. I said on
that's the thing. Well, you're a girl dad now. So
I'm
now
a girl dad.
You can look at it through her eyes when she is, she's going to love the guys too, but she's looking at different things like the gear, the hair, the way that these girls come out to their music.
She loves Drew McIntyre. She loves Bayley. She loves Bianca Belair. And those are 3 very, very good wrestlers. So it's a great start. We're going to talk to you about what's going on in your life. I know the podcast 50 Shades of Green dropped for the first time this morning. How's that going?
God, it was so nerve-wracking putting something out. Like, it's been 7 years since I started wrestling.
Yeah.
So that was the last time that I put myself out there in a way that was so terrifying because I really didn't know what I was doing. And this is the same thing. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know. I pressed record. I recorded almost the whole podcast and I hadn't actually pressed record.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, that is why I have a producer here at Barstool Sports, because I need somebody that can just press record. And that's what the producers here do. And I appreciate them. But no, that is a horrifying feeling. But you're a natural at entertaining. And that's what most wrestlers are. Most wrestlers are entertainers first, and then obviously athletes. But you are a natural at entertaining. So you're going to be like a duck in water with this stuff.
I honestly feel like at the minute I pressed record for the second time, I felt like this might be my calling. Just talking at a wall into a microphone is for me. If you watch me wrestle, I'm entertaining. I'm not there to grapple. I'm just not. Right. I'm there to make people laugh or make people feel creeped out, and that's just what I like to do.
That's what I do. I'm there to make people feel creeped out, and it's like. And the cops got all pissed off about it. I'm like, what do you want me to do? I'm 42 years old. I'm creepy. Anyway.
That's why we work so well together.
I don't know. It is what it is. But so you went on Twitter and you said, hey, Dave Portnoy, let's talk, right?
I sure did.
I know you haven't talked to him yet, but you're here today. I'm going to make sure you and Dave Portnoy talk. That is my goal in life.
Be up. I have been such a Barstool fan from the beginning because I'm a Canadian girl. I like my hockey. Okay. Yeah. I've had a run-in or 2 with Biz Nasty. So,
Yeah, no, he's a complete asshole. Yeah.
I mean, So I love Barstool. So I'm like, I'm just trying to get right on in here. Like, why start at the bottom? I'm going to the top. I'm going to Barstool.
I see when it came down a couple of weeks ago, I figured, well, she'll be working for AEW in about 5 minutes. She'll be working for somewhere in about 5 minutes. This won't last long. So I don't know what your future plans are for wrestling. That's something that can be talked at a later date. But I know this, hosting shit like this, talking wrestling, it's fun to do, and Barstool is a wonderful place. I'm going to make sure you and Dave Portnoy have a conversation. That is my goal in life.
I love you for that. But is that also because you don't want me to co-host this show with you again?
I don't.
To me off?
I got to be honest. I've been thinking. So this is just me pouring it all out there. I don't really like hosting by myself.
Oh.
And we have another guy, Robbie Fox, who does UFC and does WWE stuff or wrestling stuff, and he does a podcast called My Mom's Basement, and he puts wrestling guests on his show. He has a lot of wrestling. So I don't know if the smart play here is like a wrestling mega podcast with me, you, and him all together.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know what it is. All I know is when talent comes available, you talk to talent. That's all I know. So
Agreed.
I don't know what the future holds for you. I know that right now we're going to host a wrestling show together. We're going to talk about wrestling, and it's all going to be good, right?
I love it. I love the vibe. And I am going to say that the good thing about me being a free agent now is it doesn't matter where I end up. I write my own rules because I'm not with WWE anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah,
it really is. It really is. And a lot of people have taken that path before where they get released and they're able to they're able to do their career by their standards and by the way they want to do it and be the characters they want to be and not be answering to somebody above them. And I can already tell you seem like you're ready to just let it go.
I've been cooped up for 2 years. 2 years. And you have to remember, I was very spoiled in my career with Impact, with Lucha Underground, with the Indies. Everyone let me do what I wanted to do, which was be creepy and be crazy. And I never was told that. Yeah, exactly. The hot mess was everyone's favorite thing. And then I spent 2 years not doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to get back out there. I'm ready to do what I do best, which is be the hot mess.
Okay. Well, good. So we'll talk about what Chelsea Green's got going a little bit later. I just want to go through the world of wrestling. I'm going to lay out the podcast for everybody who's listening. So we're going to talk some wrestling stuff, including employees getting sent shit in trash bags. That's very, very interesting. Some firings that resulted from that. Kenny Omega won the Impact title last night, what that might mean for the wrestling world. And there was a debut last night, Big Cass. Hey, is Matt all right?
Yeah, he's good.
He's good? Okay, because that looked nasty.
Fooled you all. He fooled you all.
All right. I guess I forget. It's, you can be a fan for so long that you see an injury, you're like, oh, I hope he's okay. And that's exactly what he wants you to do.
You know what, though? You know what's crazy?
You were like that too?
Freaked out. I freaked out. I totally freaked out. And I can't tell you how many texts I've got today to make sure that he's okay. So he's doing something right.
Yeah, no, that's exactly the reaction you're going for, right? And then we'll talk about my independent wrestling weekend. I don't know if you saw Chelsea. I know you did see it. You blew up Twitter.
You blew up Twitter.
Did you see the video?
You moved just like an agile little cat.
That's what I'm saying. I want to get your reaction. I did not know you were going to watch it. I didn't tell you to watch it, but okay. So hell, you know what? This is about me. Let's start there. I went to Washington Township, New Jersey with my guy, Big Trouble Ben Bishop. He's 30 years old. He's just starting out. Well, he's not just starting out. He's a couple years in, but he's working his way through the indie circuit. He's 7 feet tall. He's going to be, I think he's got a future ahead of him. But I just went on Barstool last year and said, one of the questions somebody asked me was, if you could do anything in the world other than what you're doing at Barstool, what would you do? I said, I'd be a heel manager. I'd be Bobby the Brain Heenan. I would be Paul Heyman. And he called me up and said, he was a fan of Barstool. He said, well, why don't you come manage me? So this was the first time. We're going to OVW in June for a bigger show.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, no, that really is. We're going out with Al Snow and all those people. So so we're doing that. But I get there on Saturday. I'm very nervous. First time I managed him in front of a crowd. And I just said, just act like an asshole, man. Just let it go. And then I jumped up on the apron. We planned the spot. And he said, jump up on the apron, distract the ref. And then the guy's going to goozle you. And I was like, well, this jacket costs $55. He's not going to goozle me too hard. And I was able to convince him not to grab the jacket as hard as he wanted to. But But I thought, I looked like an asshole. I was getting up on the apron and saying, "Hey, stop that! I'm a bad motherfucker." And as soon as the guy comes over, I'm terrified. I'm sorry, sir. It was good, right?
Did you get a rush?
Oh my God, it was such a rush. I didn't come down for like 2 or 3 hours.
Okay, so that's the thing. That's one thing about wrestling is that you can't go to sleep right away. It doesn't matter if you wrestled at midnight, you get home and that rush is so high and you can't stop checking Twitter and Instagram and you're rewatching it and you're reliving it and you just get excited all over again. It's the craziest feeling.
No, you guys, that's why you guys travel at night, right? Because you get done at like midnight, you get done at 11 o'clock. You can't turn it off.
No, you're not going to sleep. You're not going to sleep. You're going to talk about it. You're going to dissect it for the next 2 hours. Like you have to wait till you crash.
and this was in front of 75 people at a Knights of Columbus in Washington Township, New Jersey. This was not a huge show or anything. So I can only imagine what it's like for you guys when you're actually at the big, when you work your way up to the big arena, because that's what you're chasing, right? You're chasing the big arena, you're chasing the big crowd. And hopefully
it
never
changes. It never changes. You still get that rush. Even when I was doing the NXT house shows, and there's like not that many people there, and you still get the same feeling. It doesn't matter. It's just nerve-wracking to go out there and do something like that. And the more you commit, the better it is.
Yeah, so I that was my first run. I got up on that apron, man. I was lucky that the ring is not a full like WWE size ring or something. I didn't have to jump up on the apron. It's just a nice.
Had a low boy. That's what we call those.
A low boy. There you go.
Boy.
So I was able to get up on that. That helped a lot. That made me look a lot more agile than I was. If it had been,
you did. You hopped right up on there.
I was excited. I was ready to go. So I jumped up on there, and the guy was saying God knows what. I was like, "I'm very important. Please, I'm very important. You got to listen to me." And the guy grabs me, and for some reason, I said, "Please don't hurt me. I have a dog named Sam." And I just. He laughed a little bit under his breath, and I was like, and you know what? They hit him with the briefcase. I fell down and just wanted to look scared the whole time until the 3 count, and then everything was safe. So it was so fucking fun.
Oh man, I'm living vicariously through you because we haven't had fans for so long.
Yeah. It was crazy. So, guys, listen to wrestling. If you are a fan if you're listening, you are a fan. June 3rd, we're going to be at OVW for their OVW Championship Tournament. Big Trouble Ben Bishop will be in the first round of that. He'll probably win because I'll be with him. I'm probably going to make him win. I'm going to be the biggest star. I'm actually going to be the most famous person there. So, congratulations to me.
Are you going to buy a new jacket or are you going to wear the same one?
I am.
If it's a big show, you can't be re-wearing stuff.
Okay, now listen. Listen, Chelsea. All right. That jacket cost me $55 from Belk. All right. You know how fancy Belk jackets are?
We better start a GoFundMe for you for Belk jackets.
That's the same jacket I wore when I was on the NXT pre-show. That's my wrestling jacket.
Oh, okay. Okay. You know what then? I can get down with that. If you have a wrestling jacket, if that's your uniform.
But okay, so I have talked to the people, the Barstool people, our merchandise people. I'm going with I think I'm going to go with the silk jacket like Bobby Heenan, or maybe a velour jumpsuit.
Oh, we love a velour jumpsuit.
Yeah,
that's so heelish. Everyone hates it and they love to hate it.
Okay, good. Well, I'm going velour then. I've never worn velour because I'm a 42-year-old from Mississippi and we look down upon that. But
you're gonna sweat your ass off.
Probably, yeah. No, it's not like it gets hot in Kentucky in June. This sounds like the dumbest fucking idea I've ever had.
Ass crack sweat.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's actually what they called me in high school. Anyway. It is wrestling. So let's talk some wrestling. All right. Last week, since we left you, the biggest story in professional wrestling was because of something that happened 2 weeks ago. Was the biggest story then when there was a wave of releases from WWE, Samoa Joe, Chelsea Green, Mickie James. Mickie James goes on Twitter and Mickie James tweets out, and she wasn't vicious about it at all.
It was funny.
It was very matter of fact. It was like, hey, thanks for sending me my stuff. And it just was a trash bag with Mickie James' name on it. Now, this led to all manner of reaction from the world out there. This led to some shock, some outrage. Triple H goes on Twitter, says, we don't do that crap. And they end up firing some guys backstage, Mark Carrano being one. I don't know Mark Carrano. I'm sure you probably do. So here is my reaction to it, and I'm going to get your reaction to it shortly because that's what people really want to hear. They don't want to hear mine.
The dirt.
My reaction is I never want to see real life people lose their jobs. I never want to see, because Mark Carrano is just a name now out there in the world that he's the guy that was doing the trash bags, and that's why he got fired. But he's a real person, and I hate to see that it went to that level. I don't know what else was going on behind the scenes because I don't know him. So I certainly know this. I know Mickie James didn't take to Twitter one day to try to get someone fired. I know that for a fact.
Yes.
And ultimately, WWE couldn't abide. They're a corporation, they're $1 billion corporation. They couldn't abide by, their name being attached to that. So somebody had to get the axe. It is very unfortunate. I feel like online wrestling fans celebrate people's demise a little too much sometimes, and it's just not a good situation. I don't like that it happened to anybody, but ultimately the reality is if you do your job well, you keep it, and if you do something that embarrasses the company you work for, even if you might have messed up, they're going to make a statement, and that's what happened here. I don't think there are any winners in the situation.
Do you want me to play devil's advocate?
I want you to. Yes, I want you. No, I don't want you to play devil's advocate. I want you to tell me.
I'm going to.
Go ahead.
I'm going to.
Go ahead.
Because here's my thought is that, for one, this turned into a PR nightmare within like 20 minutes, right? Insane.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the way that they handled it, going online and apologizing to Mickie right away, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect, because it momentarily stopped Twitter craziness, kind of, right? Now look,
okay,
this is not the first time that Mark Carrano has thrown people's shit in a garbage bag.
So I don't know that. Fair enough.
Right. So that what people don't know, and some women put it out there. Gail Kim got fired.
Mm-hmm.
How long ago? Years ago, or was released or asked for her release. She had her shit thrown in a garbage bag.
Mm-hmm.
That's how long this has been happening.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. This does not, now I'm not really like a women's empowerment. We need equal everything, but this doesn't happen to the guys. It
really?
Doesn't happen to the guys. So, and I don't know why that is, or if it's just because the women have drawers in the back that we throw stuff in, whether it's makeup, boots, extra gear, stuff for pre-tapes. Like, we're women, we have more stuff.
Right.
So we have drawers, individual drawers. But I mean, I have heard that Mark Carrano takes pleasure in throwing stuff in and shipping it off.
Okay, well now we're talking. If there's somebody backstage that takes pleasure in especially at a low point for somebody,
yes.
This is not a high point in their career. They're already they're looking for work, or they're embarrassed for whatever reason. If you got somebody that is delighting in kicking them while they're down, okay, now we got some fireable talking. Yeah.
Right. So
now that's some bullshit.
Exactly. And then we'll add into it the fact that Mickie James is a legend. Like, honestly, who cares about me? But Mickie James has been there for so long, put in how much time. You know what? All you had to do was, because what happened is it came in a FedEx box,
right, with
the garbage bag in it. Well, guess what? All we had to do is eliminate the garbage bag.
Yes, put it in the box. Put it in the box.
That's the thing. It's not rocket science. Just put it in the box and fold her up nicely. It would have taken 2 more minutes, but someone.
I would argue it would have taken 2 less minutes.
Right. Exactly. So, but someone is, happy about throwing stuff in a garbage bag.
Okay. You have convinced me. Now, it begs the question, did you get your shit back?
I got my shit back.
Was it in a trash bag?
It was in a trash bag.
Really?
However, it was in a trash bag. However, I will say I'm so easygoing that I didn't even think anything of it. I did take a picture. I took a picture, and my fiance, who works for Impact and worked for WWE for 14 years, was pissed. Like, he was fuming. You need to put this on Twitter, and you need to do this. And then when everyone apologized to Mickie, he's like, I told you should have put it on there. Look, I'm just not that type of person. I don't really care. I'm pretty, like, I let stuff just kind of slide on by. But it did piss me off that Mickie got that same treatment. Yeah.
It being Mickie James, somebody who's been there since the early 2000s, somebody who's been in WrestleManias has been a legend. Like you said, she is a legend.
Yes.
And the fact that, you know what? I think the fact that she was the one that put it on Twitter helped it become the issue it became.
And I kind of said that to Matt. I said, if I had done that,
right.
Who knows, it's Mickie James. So she got that exposure and she had everyone on her side, all of the old divas, all of the old legends. And that's what made it, happen, blow up.
I haven't seen many people in my dealings with wrestling. I haven't seen many people that will say a cross-word about Mickie James.
No, she's the best.
Yeah, she is.
And she's helpful.
And that's somebody that, because you've been tweeting at her. I don't know your relationship. I'm sure you're good friends. You've been tweeting at her for a while. I mean, that's somebody you've looked up to for a long time.
Oh, I love her because the creepy character I just resonate with. So I love her. And then outside of that, she's a good mom. She's a good person. Her husband's cool. Like the whole family is cool.
Okay.
So
all right.
That's why I think all of us are like, oh, don't do that to Mickie.
You know what? Fuck him. I'm glad he got fired. Okay.
Yeah, fuck him.
Fuck him. Okay. Hey, I'm glad. You know what? If you want to know something, you ask, you go to the source and you say, hey, well, what's up? What's going on with this? So that actually worked out very, very well. I personally, when I'm moving somewhere, I throw a ton of shit in trash bags.
So do I. I've done it so many times.
Love a good trash bag, but I don't
love a good trash bag.
But if you send me my shit in a trash bag, we got issues.
Yeah, that's it. Right. That is it. That's what I'm talking about. There's a difference.
And in fairness, I will say this: it felt like to me, I don't feel like Triple H, Stephanie, the higher up executives at WWE really knew that was going on.
I agree, because I don't think they would have been okay with that from the get.
Yeah, I agree
from
too.
10 years ago, I don't think so. And I do think that those tweets that they sent out were genuine and honest when they were shocked. And I think that the shock factor is kind of what pushed them to probably let Mark Carrano go, because if he's doing that and they didn't know, like, what else is happening behind the scenes? Yeah,
no, it's a very good point. It was it's one of those wrestling stories that it's unfortunate that it happens. You know, you don't want to see Mickie James get treated like shit. I also still don't want to see anybody get fired behind the scenes, and especially when somebody gets fired behind the scenes and now it's embarrassing. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it is embarrassing. And you do have to have a little bit of like, like cringe, like he doesn't have a job, it's pandemic, it's all over the internet, Twitter's going off. You know, he had Twitter, like,
it's hard to come back from that too.
Yeah, how are you going to come back from that? That's brutal.
Mickie James can go work a show anywhere. Mickie James will get a job in wrestling in 5 minutes. You'll get a job in wrestling in 10 minutes. I mean, Mark Carrano, this is going to be hard to come back from. And I hope everything works out for him. Also, though, fuck him. So in the world of wrestling, a couple of things happened last night. There was TNA Rebellion, and Kenny Omega wins the Impact title in a title match that was very good. I thought anytime you get Kenny Omega, Rich Swann in a ring, it's going to be entertaining. They're very good professional wrestlers. Kenny Omega, one of the best in the world. But obviously this was coming because storyline wise, AEW never really talked about the fact that Rich Swann could win their title. Like, it was, I agree. You could tell this was just a Kenny. This is a belt grab for Kenny. He's going to go down there. He's going to get the belt. Now, I don't know where it goes from here. Is he going to be the belt collector? Is he going to go down to Mexico and try to get a belt? Is he going to go to Japan and get a belt? I don't know where it goes from here.
I was trying to figure that out too. What was your prediction? Who was going to win?
Oh, it was Kenny Omega.
See, here's what I thought, is that I thought there was going to be some sort of
screw job.
Yes. Disqualification, screw job, something that didn't allow Kenny to hold the title. Yeah. But didn't allow, I thought there was going to be something else there. So I was actually really surprised. And then once I thought about it, I thought the same thing. Like, so now what? So now is he going to go collect all the belts? And is this just going to be like AEW is now open for business? Are they going to go to Ring of Honor? Are they going to go to New Japan? Are they going to go to AAA?
Well, I mean, it's a very exciting concept because you already got Moxley going back and forth to Japan. You know, he's got the belt over there. So he's doing stuff with New Japan. You talk about the Forbidden Door all the time, and there's so many guys over in Japan or elsewhere in the world that you put him in the ring with Kenny, and Kenny's got this asshole character going on. So you just go find a face anywhere in the world. You've got a ready-made storyline. So I like the idea of the belt collector. I don't know what it does for Impact. So we'll see, I guess, Tuesday night where they go from here. But
then, you have to remember that Impact has been so up and down with viewers and ratings and things like that. So having Kenny as their, like, having Kenny as their champ brings over all those AEW fans.
Yeah,
you would think.
And I believe they did very, very well on buys last night because of this. So, yeah.
I mean, I thought that was, I don't know what you thought, but I thought that was one of Impact's best pay-per-views ever. I thought every match was solid.
Yeah, it was really good. And getting a star like Kenny on the show brings eyeballs to the other guys that you have. I thought the match between Matt Cardona and Brian Myers was very, very good, very physical. And I want to shout out one more guy from that show before we move on. So the former Big Cass, Colin Cassidy from NXT WWE, shows up as W. Morrissey. And all I want to say about that is this. Big Cass, famously, he got released and he went through some publicly, he went through some tough times. I believe there was a rehab stint in there. And obviously the human being that is Big Cass went through some issues, went through some things, and it looks like he has worked and fought and battled and gotten through what he needed to get through. And bam, he shows back up on TV last night looking like $1 million. And
good.
Life's not about getting released. Life's not about the low moments. Life's about what the fuck are you going to do when it happens? And Colin Cassidy, Big Cass, W. Morrissey, he's got the abs. He's 7 feet tall. It was great to see him show up last night.
Yeah, I'm really happy for him. And it worries me whenever people kind of go downhill after they get released.
Yeah.
So when I heard everything that was going on, I'm just so thankful that he showed up. He looks good. He looks like a star. That's something that now WWE can look at and say like, oh, okay, he picked himself up. He brushed himself off. And he's going to be a star. He will be a star.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, listen, Drew McIntyre got released. Bobby Lashley got released. Tons of guys got released, and they worked their way back. They reinvent themselves. And Cassidy, I keep calling him Big Cass because I'm used to it.
I know. I don't know what to call him.
Yeah. So W. Morrissey, that's a lot of a name, man. There's a lot going on with that name. How about just
we'll call him the Big Dub? That
big motherfucker over there. That's what I'm going to call him. So he is back, and he looked great. And congratulations to him for doing what he had to do to get to where he needed to go. All right, so I want to talk to Chelsea. I will give you my AEW thoughts, my WWE thoughts in a little bit after we do our we just made the list, which is our top 8 finishers of all time, top 8 wrestling finishers of all time. If you'd like to be here during that, you can, or you can go. And then we'll do voicemails, and that'll be the end of the show. But I want to talk to you a little bit more about what's going on in Chelsea Green's life, okay?
Let's do it. I love talking about myself.
Yeah, me too. In fact, if you want to show your ability as an interviewer, just start interviewing me on my own show. That would be great. I would appreciate that. Over. Please do. So my question to you is, have you ever thought that you and your fiance, Matt Cardona, once you get married, you're going to have to get a bigger house because of how many action figures he has?
Oh, we're already looking.
Okay.
We've already come to terms with the fact, and isn't this ridiculous? It's 2 of us, and we have a 4-bedroom house.
Yeah.
And we have filled up the 4-bedroom house and the everything else, the dining room, everything with toys. We don't have any more space. So
that's so badass. That is so awesome.
God.
Matt Cardona's just living life the way he wants to live it, man. That is awesome.
Oh yeah. He found someone. He totally fooled me when he pretended like this was a little hobby. I'll tell you that much.
But do you have like a couple of crates over here? Don't look in there. Those are just, don't worry about those. Yes. That's fine. And then let's move in. Let's move in together. He brings a gigantic 28-foot U-Haul with fucking Hulk Hogan figure from 1992.
He makes me build shelves and shit on our date nights. Yeah, that's real.
That's a hell of a date.
We did that.
You know what? That's very similar to me. Not in the fact that I make my wife do it. It's the fact that my wife is handy and I'm not, so she has to build the stuff. I buy the stuff, she builds it.
Come on over. We have a lot in common.
Yeah,
that's exactly why I do it.
Hey, sweetie, I got these shelves. I'll cook dinner if you go ahead and put this together for me. That's what.
Don't hire a task rabbit. Hire me.
Yeah, there you go. So that's But his podcast is doing incredible.
I know. Well, he was already doing it in WWE, but once he got released last year, it just blew up because he put everything into the podcast. So he does the live shows. He does there's so many branches of this podcast. I don't even know what it is anymore. So
let's talk about wrestling. I know that injuries crept up on you a couple times. Are you healthy and ready to go when it's your time to go?
I've been ready since February. A lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know that.
I've been waiting since February.
So you're ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I've been ready to go.
Here's one thing I was going to say on AEW, and I'll say it later. AEW, I understand you're good friends with TNA champ Deonna Purrazzo. I always say her name wrong.
No, Deonna Purrazzo.
Deonna Purrazzo.
Yeah.
And then here's my comment about AEW. What Tony Khan needs to do right now is I watched that women's match last night or last week on Dynamite.
Yeah.
Hikaru Shida has been a very good champion, but it is time. It is time to get that belt and put it on Britt Baker. That is your star. That girl, I don't know her, you know her. That girl is a star. She carries herself like a star. She carries herself like a champ. Listen, Ty Conti was a good match, and they're both very good women's wrestlers. But that belt needs to find its way, just like the belt found its way to Kenny Omega. That women's belt needs to find its way to Britt Baker immediately. And hopefully, the next pay-per-view that they have, that's going to happen. Because listen, I know you guys are friends. Britt Baker has been doing great work, and she is ready to be the champ of that organization.
I totally agree. And I do think whenever the time comes, I think it's going to be sooner rather than later. If I was predicting, I think that she, like you said, she's an absolute star. She carries herself like a star. She speaks like a star. Mm-hmm. She tweets like a star.
Yeah.
There is no better person for that belt to go to than Britt. And then let's talk about, once that happens, what about a match champion versus champion for the women?
It's a very good question. It's a very good question. I didn't think about that. No, you're a little bit ahead of what my thought process was.
But thought process.
Yeah, those are two. That would be a banger of a match too. That would be incredible.
I mean, I would love to see Shida versus Deonna, but of course, I want to see my two best friends. Going at it.
Oh,
I don't know where I am while that match is happening, but like tweeting, that's for sure.
That is that will be outstanding. I don't know, man. It was probably about 3 or 4 months ago when I realized, man, this Britt Baker, she is, every time she's on the screen is just different from when all the other women are on the screen there. She just commands.
I think what you guys aren't remembering is she had a hiatus with, like a broken leg and a busted nose. And when she came back so much better.
But even when she was out, didn't she do the wheelchair gimmick a couple times?
So good.
Yeah, she did that. Good. And Tony Schiavone's such a great foil for her, and they were able to go back and forth. But last week at the end of Shida and Conti, which was a very good match, Britt walks out and points up at the number one. And just when she walked out, you could feel in the crowd, and you're like, okay, well, the star's here now. And that's what I felt like. And it's no shot against Shida, it's no shot against Conti. It's just like, well, this is the one.
Well, it's kind of like when Charlotte comes out,
Yeah, no, you really
it, right? There's a
you
change.
really know. Yeah, and there's exactly right. And in fact, when I was watching WrestleMania and there was a couple, I don't remember what the match order was, but when Sasha came out at the end, I was like, she's different from the others, man.
She's different. She's just different. And there's I can't pinpoint what it is, but there's one of those in every company.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they're just different, and they're the star.
See, I don't think Britt Baker. I've stopped saying Britt Baker is the best women's wrestler in AEW. Like she's one of the best wrestlers in AEW. At least one of the best personalities in AEW. She's one of the best total packages in AEW. She's top 5 easy. She's up there with MJF. She's up there with Jericho. She's up there with Omega. She is reason to watch the show. So anyway, people would tell me I'm an idiot if I didn't at least ask you. All right, you're ready to wrestle, right? What are we talking about? Well, surely you've got some plans to get in the ring here.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I have plans.
Mm-hmm.
I have plans. I know exactly my date. Is July 14th.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have to say, I have some bucket list things that I haven't done that I really want to get to. One being AAA in Mexico.
Yeah.
I have wrestled in Mexico, but not for AAA. Another being Ring of Honor. Surprisingly, I've never
really
done a show at Ring of Honor. So I'm dying to do that. So before I lock down a 3-year, 5-year deal with whatever company asks,
right,
I just need to do a couple of these things.
That is so fucking badass. That's such a
I can't not.
No, I'm not even joking. Like the fact that I feel like, your next job, you're like, I'm going to do it. I'll get to it, but I got to go to Mexico and wrestle because I fucking love professional wrestling. Right?
Yeah,
that's what you mean.
Exactly it. That is exactly it. And you know who I think really did the best job at this was Cody. when Cody got released.
Yeah.
Didn't we see Cody everywhere? And wasn't Cody main eventing every show? And every week was somewhere different, or every month was somewhere different. If I can do that and be the female version of that,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm good. And I'm lucky because I might be the only female in the world that has already wrestled for every single company, basically.
Yeah.
And has those connections, and like, not to toot my own horn, that was really like toot, but I hope that I can get in all these places.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to lean up. I want you to look me dead in the eye. Okay. If you're going to be a podcaster, and if you want to, if you want to talk to Dave, you want to get over here at Barstool, you want to grow your brand, you toot that horn as often as you fucking can.
Toot toot.
Because trust me, there ain't nobody out there that's just waiting. It's like, oh, I want to give them props. I want to give her props. That's what I want to do today. No, you give yourself props and let the rest come.
I love it. Thank you for being my hype man today.
All right. So the build for the women's championship in AEW, I think it's obvious where it's going. I'm very excited about that. The build for Blood and Guts has been great. I'm curious what your thoughts are, because I don't know, you and I, this is the first time we've ever met. I don't know who you know, how well you know him. I'm curious what your thoughts are on MJF and this heel stable they've got going on over there. Oh
my God. MJF is, he's so good. I love to hate him.
I think he's the best asshole in wrestling, and I say that
he really is.
I say that knowing that's what he's going for. I'm not insulting him. He is the best asshole in wrestling. I had him on here for 25 minutes. He knows it. Yeah, he knows how good he is, and he knows. But I had him on here for 25 minutes, and he insulted me for 25 minutes, and we got done. And I'm like, that was fucking awesome.
And you know what? He'll do that at meet and greets with fans. It's amazing. Yeah. He trained under Brian Myers.
I think I kind of knew that. Yes. Yeah. So I knew that for sure. I knew that.
Yeah. So Brian and Matt knew him coming up, that he was going to be a star. But I just think the minute that he was put on AEW and put on TV, it's kind of a sink or swim moment. And he swam so hard. It's insane. He just came out of his friggin' cocoon and turned into a butterfly. And it's like the most insane transition from like little town New York to AEW.
But I feel like you would agree with me. AEW is the perfect company for him because he gets to go over there and do what he wants to do and do it the way he wants to do it. Whereas, other places he might have to fit into a role.
Well, they would make a script for him.
They would make a script.
Everything he writes himself.
I don't want MJF to ever have a script in his entire life.
No, nobody should ever muzzle MJF because that is his bread and butter. It's just nobody can shit talk the way he can.
It's the build for Blood and Guts, the Pinnacle. You've got him. You got FTR, Sean Spears. You've got Wardlow, who I think is a future star as well. And then Inner Circle. It's May 5th. They said it's a one-match show. I don't know how that's going to work. Aria, we probably should talk about getting back down to AEW and get to another show. Can't go May 5th because I got trivia. But it's going to be fantastic. Hey, so you're going to talk to Dave. You're going to see about talking about Barstool. What's your favorite thing at Barstool?
I want to say call her daddy, but would you be offended?
Would I be offended if the number one women's podcast in the world that gets like millions of listeners every time? Like, I understand. I'm not offended. Do I think Chelsea Green is sitting in Orlando, Florida, or wherever you are in this world? Do I think you're sitting there saying, well, I got to check out Brandon Walker's new show? No, I'm a 42-year-old father of 4. I'm not getting offended.
Hey, you're second. You're second.
Also, fuck you. So, no, you know what's real, though? So whenever we fly anywhere, I see I Am Unwell, or I see Daddy Gang.
Oh, Daddy Gang. Yeah.
I see that in the airport more than you see that in the airport more than you see anything else. You agree with that, Aria? I mean, you see that all the time.
100%. That's the only thing I see outside.
I think I've been keeping up. I think I had 4 airport trips in a row where I saw an I Am Unwell hoodie in the.
Oh, it's so great.
By the way, if you can afford to go on a plane, you're well. You're fine. You're doing good.
Yeah. That's what we love about it, the irony.
Yeah, no, if you have the number one podcast in the world and you're just selling merch and you're just stacking money,
well. You are real well.
You're well as shit.
Yeah, you're a lot more weller than I am.
Yeah, there would have to be water at the bottom to be more of a well than you are right now. So, all right. So right now you got the podcast. It's called 50 Shades of Green.
Yep.
That's your name.
That's it.
It's also a very clever
pod.
So it's a very clever podcast title. Congratulations.
Thank you. I went through about 10 different podcast titles, and that's the only one I could trademark.
I am terrible at naming podcasts. I got lucky on this one because somebody else named it for me. But it's everybody tells me, when I went to WWE, they were like, Vince hates the word wrestling, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, what?
I don't care.
Who cares?
My first guest ever was Stone Cold Steve Austin. The first thing he said to me, I'm a very big deal. Okay.
Yeah, I'm too.
Yeah, I'm a very big deal. I had Stone Cold Steve Austin. First thing he said to me was, "Hey man, I like that name, Rasslin. Reminds me of when I got started." I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, we got it right.
Exactly. No, that's so true, and it's so something that would come out of his mouth.
Yeah. No, I don't do a very good Stone Cold impression, or I don't do a very good anything else. So Chelsea Green is somebody that is going to be back in the wrestling game at some point. She's going to go do her fun stuff first. She's going to do whatever Chelsea Green wants to do. You seem very fucking happy. Like you very content.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I thought I was going to be really sad when this day came. And I also didn't think this day was going to come, 2 years into my career at WWE. So I'm kind of in this weird spot where I'm like, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm not disconnected from the indie world. I'm not disconnected from AEW, Impact, or Ring of Honor. Like, I was just there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm good.
I feel like if Barstool let me go tomorrow, I would cry. Then I'd probably go to the courthouse to answer the divorce papers my wife turns in. I would I'd hug my dog. And by the way, those fucking dogs are beautiful. Those big ass dogs y'all got?
I got a good little set of animals here. I got Dude, the Bernedoodle, and then I got 3 cats.
I was gonna buy, when I bought Sam, he's a golden doodle. I bought him from a place that had Bernedoodles and golden doodles. Yeah. So I wanted the Bernedoodle, but they weren't. I wanted the dog. I didn't want to wait a month. I don't want to wait 2 months.
Oh yeah.
So
the wait list is insane. This is a designer dog. Man, doodles are the thing. Everybody wants a fucking doodle.
Yeah, I just wanted a dog. See, I Tommy's allergic, so I had to get a hypoallergenic dog because we grow nerds in my family.
Well, that's a thing now too. 2021, everybody's hypoallergenic, fucking gluten free, all that shit.
Do you think my son's just trying to get attention?
I think he's probably also celiac and can't eat gluten. Yes. How old is he? Wait, how old are we talking about?
He's not celiac. We're Scottish. All right.
Am I making fun of like a 5-year-old? I don't know.
No, you're making fun of an 8-year-old dipshit.
Oh, perfect. God. No. 8-year-olds, they can handle that.
Okay, so you're like 5-year-old, fine. 8-year-old, fuck them.
Yeah, fuck it. After 7, you're good.
I like it. What time is it? 3:50?
Yep.
Okay, so we got time. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do my top 8 finishers of all time. I want to see your reactions to them. Okay.
Okay.
The top 8 finishing moves of all time, and now I just realized these are all moves from men, so please don't get offended. There is no satisfaction.
Women's empowerment.
Right. All right. So number 8 is how old are you? You're in your upper 30s. You're 38, 39.
30.
Okay, close enough.
I just turned 30.
Congratulations. So my number 8 is one that probably predates you. You probably didn't. I'm sure you've gone back and watched. The Rude Awakening from Ravishing Rick Rude is my number 8 finisher of all time.
Yeah.
It's basically the stunner inverted, but I don't know. It's anytime you have a finisher where you can shake your hips and show your abs and your penis to the audience before you do the finisher, you got to do it.
We love it. We love a penis shake, and also Matt does the Rude Awakening. So
right. Yes. In fact, he does. Number 7 is the RKO and the Diamond Cutter. I don't separate them. Diamond Cutter, the DDP in the 90s, and it came out of nowhere, and he invented great ways to do it, and Randy Orton took it and ran and has done, he does phenomenal work with it and does it out of any position. So that's my number 7. Number 6 is the Razor's Edge Razor Ramon. You know what this is? This is what you know what you're a wrestling fan. Yeah. What, are you okay? Did you just throw your back out?
I was showing you how.
Why were you razors edging your computer? Me and him both did that. We were like this, and like people out there don't know what it is. Like we're idiots. Number 5 of all time finisher, Macho Man Randy Savage. See, I'm very old. I just realized that most of these.
Yeah, you're dating yourself a little bit, bro.
Okay, relax. The Macho Man Randy Savage flying elbow. There was no feeling, or he's my favorite. I have 2 favorite wrestlers of all time: him and The Rock.
Yeah.
And anytime he would go up top, it just made goosebumps. Goosebumps city.
I think any finisher from the top just gives you like that feeling once they hit it.
Anticipation.
Yes. Yeah, we love it.
Number 4 finisher of all time is a finisher that I think kind of has gotten cheapened a little bit because everybody does the super kick nowadays, but there's only one Sweet Chin Music. He can hit it on anybody. I put it at number 4. It could probably be higher, but Sweet Chin Music for HBK. HBK, my choice for the greatest in-ring wrestler of all time. And then let's see, number 3, Pedigree Triple H.
I have been told so many times how much that hurts.
Okay, so it was September of 1999. I was 20 years old, and me and my buddy Phil and my buddy Alan were watching a Penn State football game on a Saturday, and he had a very rough carpet in his room, and we would occasionally just start doing wrestling moves on each other. I take a great stunner. Spoiler alert. I take a great stunner, but he said, let me pedigree you. And I said, yeah, fine, fuck it. And he pedigreed me, but he didn't know how to do it. So he legitimately landed with his knees on my head, and I was out. And I didn't wake up, but when I got up, I had the pattern of the carpet was in my nose. It was bad.
And you know what? All it takes is a split second of not letting go of the arms, and the person's face is in the mat. So that's like one of the worst. What is
the finisher that you're like, it sucks to take the most in your wrestling career? What was
that one sucks. And then I will say Bianca's finish, because I'm so tall.
Yeah.
There's no way that I'm landing like that. I am landing like this. I'm landing like this. I'm landing like that. There's just no way for me to land nicely. It hurts every single time.
That hair whip that she did to Sasha at WrestleMania, where she took her hair, did you ever get that done to you?
Never. And I'm terrified. Like, I'd rather take anything.
It sounded like a gunshot.
That's worse than a slap. That's worse than chops. Because that's like a straight up like slice.
Yeah.
Like, people bleed from that a lot.
Sasha was cut when she did it. And it sounded like, I'd never heard that sound in a wrestling ring. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah, Rhea's got pretty cut up from that.
Oh, okay. My number 2 finisher of all time is the Tombstone pile driver from The Undertaker. And my number 1 finishing move of all time is the Stone Cold Stunner, because he could put it on anybody. It was lights out. I mean, it was great. The Rock taking the Stone Cold Stunner is one of the most beautiful things ever. Kurt Angle took a great stunner. Scott Hall took a great stunner. The Stunner. What do you think?
I love it. I think the list is great. You could have had a couple more females in there. We love a bank statement.
Yes.
We love the rack attack. I don't know about that. Nikki Bella's, because she had to get surgery, neck surgery and all that. So I don't know about that one, because I was going to say that, but that's not really it. But I do want to go back to the super kick, because I do agree. Unfortunately, the super kick is just used whenever, but I so appreciate a super kick finish.
Here's the thing. Everybody uses it. It's a transition move now, right? Like, everybody uses it. You'll even
Canadian Destroyer.
It really is.
When all of a sudden it's like the most devastating move ever, and the scariest move to take is just like a quick little this into this.
Yeah. So, but here's my thought process. Shawn Michaels is such a legend and so great. If he magically were 15 years younger right now and walked back into WWE or wherever and started doing Sweet Chin Music, it's immediately feared as a finisher again. That's what I think. I
agree. And I do remember hearing him say, because a lot of people get angry when you use their finisher as like a transition move. But I do remember HBK saying that, no, I don't mind that people use it all the time, because what it means is that mine's because I finish people with it.
Yeah,
and
that works.
That
very much works. It's like these days, you get in the corner and you get chopped. Well, every time you get chopped, what happens in the crowd? Not that we've had crowds lately. You hear woo for Ric Flair. So people can chop. Every single chop that happens, Ric Flair comes to people's mind.
Exactly.
And that's what makes you a legend in the business. Mm-hmm. All right. Did you have a good time?
I mean, I hope you invite me back.
No, you'll come back.
Do you think Dave is gonna let me co-host with you? Will he pay me to co-host with you?
I think here's what I think, and this is just being honest. I think Chelsea Green, again, like I said earlier, has 600,000 Instagram followers. Chelsea Green has, I don't know how many Twitter followers you have. You have an audience. Dave doesn't give a fuck about wrestling. He doesn't give a shit about the quality of this show. You know what Dave cares about? Audience and money.
Money.
And you are skilled enough on a microphone and have a big enough following that you can probably write your own ticket at this company. I'm just talking out loud. I don't have any power at all. I'm just saying what I think, what I know of Dave. I think Dave will be very impressed by you.
We'll do a follow-up interview, and I'll let you know if I got the job or not.
So yeah, okay, yeah. But even if I don't know how it comes, I don't know what happens, what shakes out. All I know is, yes, you are invited to come back.
Thanks.
You are invited to come back, and you can co-host. You can host the damn thing if you want me to take the week off. I don't care.
Yeah, go on vacation.
Yeah,
take your family and your dog on vacation.
Nobody deserves it more than I. And I also have a cat, so I'm not leaving the cat at home. Fluffy is his name. Yeah. And he is a son of a bitch. Chelsea Green, you're fantastic. I know that you got a great future in wrestling, and you've got a great future in that what you're doing right now, which is speaking into a microphone. Thank you for joining me on Rasslin.
Thanks for having me.